I've kept a lot of secrets in my life, but I've never had the courage to share any of them. Now, for the first time, I'm doing it, and trust me, it's not easy. This secret has been eating me up inside, keeping me awake at night.
This secret has been eating me up inside, keeping me awake at night. This secret has been eating me up inside, and keeping me awake at night.
Came into my life after my dad's second marriage. With every move he makes, he leaves me in awe. He's that mature, smart, and damn charming guy. I remember the first time I saw him. It was on the wedding day. The way he stood next to my dad, his calm yet confident vibe, it felt like everything was under his control. I couldn't take my eyes off him. Meanwhile, my mom, Maria, was stepping into her new life, but I couldn't stop thinking about Edwin. If you want to be one of the first to know these secrets, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Watch the whole video because the ending is going to get seriously weird. But here's where the real trouble starts. Edwin isn't just my stepbrother, he's also someone else's boyfriend, Julia. They've clearly been together for a while, there's a depth to their relationship, but lately, it's been full of cracks. Moving to a new city, adjusting to new things, and I think maybe a little bit of Maria. I can see Edwin's anger toward her spilling into his fights with Julia. Sometimes, I can hear their whispered arguments from the other room, and in those moments, something horrible grows inside me. This hope isn't about him leaving Julia, this hope is about him looking at me one day, about him seeing me for who I am and realizing that he wants to be with me, not her. And that's why I have to tell you my biggest secret, because this secret isn't just going to change me, it might change Edwin too. I want Edwin. Yeah, I know it sounds wrong, but my heart is telling me something different. I want him. I can't keep this secret anymore. Listen and try not to judge me until you understand, because this is a story where I'm putting not just my heart but my soul out there. Getting Edwin, replacing someone else, even taking a place in the heart of a man who looks like my stepbrother sounds crazy, right? But this is my truth, and now I'm going to tell you that truth. I'll never forget that night. The hours had passed, and Edwin was already in his room. The house was quiet, but the chaos inside me was the opposite of quiet. Edwin's presence, that distance between us, every movement of his had this hidden pull. I noticed him out on the kitchen balcony smoking a cigarette. At first, I tried not to go in, but then, I don't even know what I was doing. It was like an instinct, a pull that got me moving. I was wearing this thin, almost see-through nightgown. I couldn't really think about what I was wearing at that hour, could I? I quietly walked down the stairs, but as I reached the kitchen door, I unknowingly, or maybe I knew exactly what I was doing, banged my hand against the cupboard. Ow! I let out a soft cry, like I'd hurt myself. Edwin turned around immediately, his expression was shocked at first, but then it softened when he saw me. Lena, what are you doing up at this hour? His voice was filled with surprise. I just came down to get some water, I said, adding a small smile. I rubbed my hand lightly as my eyes met his. That was the moment I felt something shift. I had his attention. What about you? Shouldn't you be asleep? I asked with a curious tone.
That was the moment I felt something shift.
I wanted him to open up to get closer.
I had his attention.
I was looking for an excuse to be near him.
Shouldn't you be asleep?
Edwin took a deep breath,
I
stubbed
asked
out
with
his
a curious
cigarette
tone. That was the
and
moment
tilted
I
his
felt
head slightly.
something
I wanted
shift.
him to open up
There's
to get
just
closer.
a lot
on
his
my mind,
attention.
he said.
I was looking for
What
an
about
excuse
his eyes
to be
were
near
looking
him.
off into the
Shouldn't
distance,
you be
but I
asleep?
could
Took a
feel
deep
the
breath.
emotion
I
behind his
stubbed out with a
gaze.
curious tone. That was the
And
moment
tilted
I
his
felt
head
something
slightly.
shift. I wanted him to open up to
There's
get
just
I
a
had
lot
his
on my
attention.
overstepping my
I was
bounds, but I had to take that risk. Edwin gave a small smile, but there was sadness behind it. Yeah, he said. It's over. I can't take it anymore. We're always fighting, the move, my dad's marriage, everything got in the way with Julia. Hearing that, something weird stirred inside me. On one hand, I felt his pain, but on the other hand, a spark went off inside me. Maybe this was my chance. You're right, I said slowly, sitting down next to him. Sometimes, even when people love each other, it becomes impossible to walk the same path. I wanted to seem supportive, but at the I've kept a lot of secrets in my life. I've kept a lot of secrets. I've kept.
What about you? Shouldn't you be asleep? I asked with a curious tone. That was the moment I felt something shift. I wanted him to open up, to get closer. I had his attention. I was looking for an excuse to be near him. Shouldn't you be asleep? Edwin took a deep breath. I asked with a curious tone and tilted his head slightly. I wanted him to open up, to get closer. There's just a lot on my mind, he said. I was looking for an excuse to be near him. Off into the Shouldn't you be asleep? Edwin took a deep
a lot of secrets in my life, but I've never had the courage to share any of them. Now, for the first time, I'm doing it, and trust me, it's not easy. This secret has been eating me up inside, keeping me awake at night, echoing in my mind at all hours, and it's about Edwin. Edwin took a deep breath. I stubbed out his serious, the guy who came into my life after my dad's second marriage. There's just a baby with every move he makes,
but I had to
he
take
leaves
that
me
risk.
in awe.
Edwin gave a small smile, but there was sadness behind it.
I remember the first time I saw him. It was on the wedding day.
I can't take it anymore.
The way he stood next to my dad,
we're always fighting, the move, my dad's marriage, everything got in the way with Julia.
I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Something weird stirred inside me.
Meanwhile, my mom, Maria,
on one hand,
was
I felt
stepping
his
into her
pain,
new life,
but on the other hand, a spark went off
Edwin.
inside me.
If you want to be
Maybe
one of the
this was
first
my
to know
chance.
these secrets, make sure
You're
you
right,
subscribe
I said
and
slowly,
turn on notifications.
sitting down next to him.
Watch the whole video
Sometimes,
because
even
the
when
ending
people
is going
love
to
each
get
other,
seriously
it
weird.
becomes impossible to walk the
But
same
here's
path.
where the real trouble starts.
I wanted to
Edwin
seem
isn't
supportive,
just my
but at the
stepbrother. He's also someone else's boyfriend, Julia.
I've kept a lot of secrets
They've
in my
clearly
life.
been together for a while.
I've kept a
There's
lot
a
of
depth to their relationship, but lately, it's been full of cracks. Moving to a new city, adjusting to new things, and I think maybe a little bit of Maria. I can see Edwin's
What
anger
about
toward
you?
her spilling into his fights
Shouldn't you
with Julia.
be asleep?
Sometimes,
I asked with
I
a
can
curious
hear
that was the moment
arguments
I
from
felt
the other
something
room,
shift him to
and in
open
those
up, to get
moments,
closer. I had his
something horrible
attention.
grows inside
I was
me.
looking for an excuse to be
This
near
hope
him.
isn't about him
Shouldn't
leaving
you be
Julia.
asleep? Took a
This
deep
hope
breath.
is about
I
him
stubbed
looking
out
at
with
me
a
one day,
serious tone. That was the moment I felt something shift to open up, to get closer. I had his attention. I was looking for an
And
excuse
that's
to
why
be
I
near
have
him.
to tell you my
Shouldn't
biggest
you be
secret,
asleep?
because this secret isn't just going to change me. It might change Edwin too. I want Edwin. Yeah, I know it sounds wrong, but my heart is telling me something different. I want him. I can't
a lot of
keep
secrets
this secret
in my life,
anymore.
but I've never had the courage
Listen
to share
and try
any
not
of them.
to judge me until you understand.
Now, for the first
because
time,
this is a story
I'm doing
where
it,
I'm putting
and trust
not
me,
just my heart,
it's not
but my
easy.
soul out there.
This secret
Getting
has been
Edwin,
eating me up
replacing
inside,
someone else,
keeping me awake
even
at night,
taking a place in
echoing
the heart
in
of
my
my
mind.
who looks like my stepbrother sounds crazy, right?
Yeah,
Edwin
I
is my
stubbed out with a
stepbrother,
serious
the
tone.
guy who came into my life
I
after
wanted
my
him
dad's
to open
second
up, to
marriage.
get
I'll
closer.
never forget that night.
Every move he makes,
The
I had to
hours
take
had
the risk.
passed, and Edwin was
Edwin
already
gave
in
a
his
small
room.
smile, but there was
The
sadness
house was
behind
quiet,
it.
but the
I
chaos
remember
inside
the
me
first
was
time
the
I saw
opposite
him.
of quiet.
It's
It was on
over.
the wedding day. Edwin's presence,
I can't
that
take it
distance
anymore.
between
Stood
us,
next to my
every
dad.
movement
We're
of his
always
had this
fighting,
confident
the move,
vibe.
my dad's
It felt like
marriage,
I noticed him
everything
out
got
on
in
the
the way
kitchen
with
balcony
Julia.
smoking a cigarette.
I couldn't
take
hearing
my
that,
eyes off him.
something
At
weird
first, I
stirred
tried
inside
not to
me.
go in,
Meanwhile, my
but
mom,
then,
on
I
one
don't even
hand,
know
I
what I
felt
was
his
doing.
pain, but on the other
It was
hand,
like an
a spark
instinct,
went
a
off
pull that
inside
got me
me.
moving.
If you want to be
Maybe
one of
I
this
was
was my
wearing those
chance.
secrets, almost
Make
see-through
sure
nightgowns,
right. I said
and turn on
slowly,
I
sitting
couldn't
down
really
next
think
to
about
him.
what I was wearing
Watch the
at that
whole
hour,
sometimes,
could I?
even when
The ending is
people
going
love
to get
each
serious.
other,
I
it
quietly walked
becomes
down the stairs,
impossible
but
to
as I
walk
reached
the same
here's
path.
where the real trouble
I
starts.
wanted to seem
maybe I
supportive,
knew
but at
exactly
the
what I was doing.
He's also
Banged
someone
my hand
else's
against the
boyfriend,
cupboard.
Julia. I've kept a lot of
Ow.
secrets
They've
in my
clearly
life.
been
I
together for a while.
I've kept a
There's
lot of
depth to
secret
their
relationships,
relationship,
but
but
lately
like
it's
I'd
been
hurt
full of
myself.
cracks.
Edwin
Moving
turned
to a
around
new city,
immediately.
adjusting
His
to new
expression was
things,
shocked at
and I
first,
think maybe
but
a
then
little
it
bit of
softened when he
Maria.
saw me.
I can see
Lena,
Edwin's
what are
anger
you doing
toward
up
her
at this
spilling
hour?
into his fights
Shouldn't
with
you be
Julia.
His voice was filled with surprise. I just came down to get some water, I said, adding a small smile. I rubbed my hand lightly as my eyes met his. That was the moment I felt something shift. I had his attention. What about you? Shouldn't you be asleep? I asked with a I've kept a lot of secrets in my life, but I've never had the courage to share any of them. I've kept a lot of secrets in my life, but I've never had the courage to share any of them. Now, for the first time, I'm doing it, and trust me, it's not easy. This secret has been eating me up inside, keeping me awake at night, echoing in my mind at all hours, and it's about Edwin. Yeah, Edwin, my stepbrother, the guy who came into my life after my dad's second marriage. With every move he makes, he leaves me in awe. He's that mature, smart, and damn charming guy. I remember the first time I saw him, it was on the wedding day. The way he stood next to my dad, his calm yet confident vibe, it felt like everything was under his control. I couldn't take my eyes off him. Meanwhile, my mom, Maria, was stepping into her new life, but I couldn't stop thinking about Edwin. If you want to be one of the first to know these secrets, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Watch the whole video because the ending is going to get seriously weird. But here's where the real trouble starts. Edwin isn't just my stepbrother, he's also someone else's boyfriend, Julia. They've clearly been together for a while, there's a depth to their relationship, but lately, it's been full of cracks. Moving to a new city, adjusting to new things, and I think maybe a little bit of Maria. I can see Edwin's anger toward her spilling into his fights with Julia. Sometimes, I can hear their whispered arguments from the other room, and in those moments, something horrible grows inside me. This hope isn't about him leaving Julia, this hope is about him looking at me one day, about him seeing me for who I am and realizing that he wants to be with me, not her. And that's why I have to tell you my biggest secret, because this secret isn't just going to change me, it might change Edwin too. I want Edwin. Yeah, I know it sounds wrong, but my heart is telling me something different. I want him. I can't keep this secret anymore. Listen and try not to judge me until you understand, because this is a story where I'm putting not just my heart but my soul out there. Getting Edwin, replacing someone else, even taking a place in the heart of a man who looks like my stepbrother sounds crazy, right? But this is my truth, and now I'm going to tell you that truth. I'll never forget that night. The hours had passed, and Edwin was already in his room. The house was quiet, but the chaos inside me was the opposite of quiet. Edwin's presence, that distance between us, every movement of his had this hidden pull. I noticed him out on the kitchen balcony smoking a cigarette. At first I tried not to go in, but then, I don't even know what I was doing. It was like an instinct, a pull that got me moving. I was wearing this thin, almost see-through nightgown. I couldn't really think about what I was wearing at that hour, could I? I quietly walked down the stairs, but as I reached the kitchen door, I unknowingly, or maybe I knew exactly what I was doing, banged my hand against the cupboard. Ow! I let out a soft cry, like I'd hurt myself. Edwin turned around immediately, his expression was shocked at first, but then it softened when he saw me. Lena, what are you doing up at this hour? His voice was filled with surprise. I just came down to get some water, I said, adding a small smile. I rubbed my hand lightly as my eyes met his. That was the moment I felt something shift. I had his attention. What about you? Shouldn't you be asleep? I asked with a curious tone. I wanted him to open up to get closer. I was looking for an excuse to be near him. Edwin took a deep breath, stubbed out his cigarette, and tilted his head slightly. There's just a lot on my mind, he said. His eyes were looking off into the distance, but I could feel the emotion behind his gaze. Is it about Julia? I asked, maybe overstepping my bounds, but I had to take that risk. Edwin gave a small smile, but there was sadness behind it. Yeah, he said. It's over. I can't take it anymore. We're always fighting, the move, my dad's marriage, everything got in the way with Julia. Hearing that, something weird stirred inside me. On one hand, I felt his pain, but on the other hand, a spark went off inside me. Maybe this was my chance. You're right, I said slowly, sitting down next to him. Sometimes, even when people love each other, it becomes impossible to walk the same path. I wanted to seem supportive, but at the same time, I was trying to make my presence felt in what I was saying. That night, I sat quietly next to Edwin. I wanted him to feel that I wasn't there because of Julia, but because it felt natural for me to be next to him. And I knew he noticed it. I could tell because when I got up at dawn and went back to my room, he was watching me quietly. There was something in his gaze, like he'd realized, and that possibility was my biggest secret. I had taken the first step toward getting Edwin. That morning, I couldn't shake off that quiet, sad look Edwin had. Living in the same house with him day by day was affecting me more than I could handle. And I have to admit, even though he'd broken up with Julia, I couldn't stand the fact that he still kept her in his head. All I wanted was to pull his attention to me. I wanted him to see me, to notice me, and I'd do anything to make that happen. That night, I had my plan all figured out in my head. I purposely put on the thinnest, most daring nightgown I had. The fabric was soft, it hugged my body and even showed a bit of cleavage. I looked at myself in the mirror one last time. "Ready, Lena?" I whispered to myself. This night, Edwin would only see me. I went out to the balcony and lit a cigarette. Smoking wasn't really my thing, but it seemed like the perfect excuse to get Edwin's attention. I sat there alone, pretending to be lost in my thoughts as I took a puff. It didn't take long for the moment I'd been waiting for to arrive. Edwin turned on the kitchen light, stayed inside for a bit, then came out to the balcony. "Lena," he said, sounding surprised. "Are you smoking?" I looked at him with a small smile. "Every now and then," I said, acting cool, "sometimes it helps clear my head." Edwin hesitated for a moment, but finally sat next to me and lit his own cigarette. "What's on your mind?" he asked, his gaze scanning me. It was like he didn't quite get why I was there. "Nothing as big as your problems," I said with a light laugh, "but sometimes everyone needs a little distraction." My eyes wandered over his face. Even through the smoke, I couldn't help but notice that familiar look of his. To keep the conversation going, I pointed to the bottle of wine. "If we're sitting out here alone, we should celebrate with a bottle of wine," I said. "Maybe we can distract each other's thoughts." Edwin didn't say anything at first, but after a brief pause, he went inside to grab the wine bottle and 2 glasses. When he came back, he had a slight smile on his face. "Okay," he said, "talking it out with you might not be such a bad idea." As we filled our wine glasses, I started to get him talking. He told me about his relationship with Julia, about why it ended, and that was the opening I'd been waiting for. "You know," I said softly, "I don't think Julia ever deserved you. Someone who really loved you wouldn't have treated you like that." Edwin went quiet for a second, his eyes fixed on me. "Why are you saying that?" he asked, his voice soft but with curiosity in it. I raised my glass and gave him a small smile. "Because the love you deserve isn't that," I said. Hours passed, and the wine was starting to get to us. I could feel his walls slowly coming down. He was opening up more, even laughing a little. And right then, I decided to risk it all. I leaned in toward him. First, I looked into his eyes, then gave him a slight smile. "I know I shouldn't do this," I said, my voice trembling a little, but before I could finish my sentence, I pressed my lips to his. For a moment, he seemed surprised, but then he kissed me back.
Oh my
Our
God.
kiss became long and intense,
God.
and in that
This is
moment,
spoiling
it
us.
felt like the
Alia
whole
is
world
younger than
stopped.
me. Do you know that?
"Lena,"
Wait,
he
but
whispered
how old was I
finally,
when Sunu
but
Dev
his
came
voice
out
was
then?
uncertain.
2012.
Came out in
There was
12.
both
Yeah.
desire and
2012,
hesitation
yeah.
in his
You
eyes,
were?
but at that
7.
moment, there was
7
no
years
turning
old.
back.
And I was 12.
The path I started on to get Edwin was now
okay,
leading
it's
The
in a
math is
completely
correct now.
different
I was born
direction.
2005, yes.
You will call
After
her
the
Alia,
kiss,
ma'am.
Edwin stayed
then
quiet
what? She
for a
is
while.
ma'am.
Senior.
His
Oh
gaze
my
was
God.
down, like he was trying to figure out a
Yes.
battle inside
This
his
is
mind.
Alia is younger than me.
Our
Do you know
breaths
that?
were uneven,
Wait,
but
but
the
how old was I
intensity
when
in his
Sunu Dev
eyes
came
only
out
drew
then?
me in further.
2012.
Came out in 12.
Finally,
Yeah.
he
2012,
exhaled deeply
yeah.
and looked
You
straight
were?
into my eyes.
7.
7 years old.
"Lena," he
I
said,
was 12.
his voice both deep and shaky, "I need to confess
okay,
The
it's
something."
math is correct now. I was born
At that
2005,
moment,
yes.
my
You
heart
will call
started
her Alia,
racing.
ma'am.
Yeah, then
Hearing
what?
what
She is
Edwin
ma'am.
had to say
Oh
excited
my
me,
God.
but it also
Oh
scared
my
me.
God.
This is
I gave a
spoiling us.
slight
Listen,
nod,
Alia is younger than
encouraging
me.
him to
Do you
go
know
on.
that?
Wait, but
On the
how
day
old
of
was
the
I when
wedding,
Sunu Dev
he
came out
started,
then?
his lips curling into a faint smile. "When I first saw you in that white dress, you really caught my attention. At first, I told myself it was just a fleeting thing, but then everything changed. His voice cracked, and he pressed out the cigarette in the ashtray. He turned his eyes back to me, this time with a more intense look. After that day, I felt a strange attraction toward him. I can't even describe it. It was wrong but also irresistible, like I'd known you for a really long time, but at the same time it was completely new and unknown. His words practically mesmerized me. I leaned in a little more, listening closely. My relationship
They're incredibly
with Julia
easy
wasn't
to
going
make.
well, but
Imagine
this feeling,
creating a
what I
music
felt
video
for
that looks
you,
professional
just made my
with just a
conscience
few
worse.
clicks. A few years
It
ago,
felt
creating
like I
something
was
like
betraying
this would have
Julia.
cost thousands of
So
dollars,
even after
a
we
big
moved,
team,
I
and
kept
weeks of
trying to
work.
keep things with her. I tried to push you away, tried to run from these feelings. At that moment, I could see Edwin's inner turmoil laid bare, but at the same time, I could feel how real his interest in me was. But Lena, he said, his voice lowering, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get you out of my head. You're completely different. It's like I've always known you, but for some reason, I keep getting more and more
अस्सलाम वालेकुम दोस्तों, आप
The
देख रहे
moment
हैं
he finished his words, he hesitated for a second, then suddenly leaned in toward me and pressed his lips to mine again.
सीआईडी देश के सबसे लंबे समय तक चलने वाले शो में से एक रहा, जिसने न सिर्फ लोगों का मनोरंजन किया बल्कि कई लोगों को इंस्पायर किया। सीआईडी का पहला एपिसोड 21 जनवरी 1998 को, तो वहीं आखिरी एपिसोड 27 अक्टूबर 2018 को टेलीकास्ट हुआ था। शो के हर किरदार को लोगों का बहुत प्यार मिला, यहाँ तक कि
He pulled me closer as our physical contact deepened.
I swear I felt my
In that moment, the boundaries between us were disappearing one by one.
I swear I felt my whole world.
The cool night air from the balcony brushed against our skin, but we were warm from each other's presence. Edwin's fingers moved down from my waist, his touch both hesitant and full of desire. Lena, he whispered, his voice almost like we were in a dream. I don't know if this is right, but I can't stop it. I felt the same way. I knew this moment was wrong, but it also felt so real. I held him tighter, my voice barely a whisper. Edwin, for the first time, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. That night, all our barriers, all our fears vanished in the coolness of the balcony. Our kisses deepened, our touches grew bolder. We were just two people now. The past, the world around us, or any rules didn't matter anymore. That night on the balcony, Edwin and I became one, ignoring
this
everything
AI tool
else.
is better than Leonardo.ai.
Everything was wiped away.
You can create
No past,
unlimited
no
AI
future
images
worries.
with accurate text, hands and
only
fingers
felt
for a
each
one-time
other's
cost.
presence, our
No
physical
recurring
connection
fees.
turning into a spiritual bond.
Today, I want to show
Our
you how I
bodies
went from getting
melded
less
together,
views than a
and the
Minecraft
magic
Let's
of the
Player
moment
to now
completely
the algorithm
intoxicated
literally
us.
sending me 1
It
to
was like we
2,000
transcended
views
everything.
every single hour. And
We
in
felt
turn,
like
that
we
blew
were
up
in
my
another
subs,
world,
helping make
like
a
it
bunch
was
of money,
just
helped me
us.
monetize not just this channel,
We
but a
lived that
bunch
night
of
as if
different
we never
channels as
wanted
well.
it
Some
to
of them
end.
with literally one video.
The next
So let's go through
morning,
this step
waking
by
up with the
step.
first
Step
light
number
of the
1
sun,
is we need to figure
the
out
warmth
why
and
the
slight
algorithm
ache
isn't
in my
promoting your
body
channel. And most
reminded me
people
of
think that the
everything we
algorithm
had
just
shared.
hates them. But there's a way to actually go
But
into your
at the
analytics
same
and verify
time,
whether it is
I
the
felt
algorithm
a
that hates you or
strange
whether there's a deeper
emptiness.
problem at play. So just come to your
I
YouTube studio, this is
started
just
to
like a random
question
example channel I
myself.
have. Then come down to
Why
content.
did
And
this
then in
happen?
content, come to whatever video you think the
I thought
algorithm
I
hates.
had
Let's say
one
this one's been up
Edwin,
for over
but
2 years and only got
everything
30 views
changed
in
in
that
an
period of time.
instant.
Then go to analytics by hovering
Was
over this
this
button
right?
here. Last, we're going to go
Was
across
this
to this
bond
reach
between us
tab. And
just
what we're going
the
to look at is
effect
this
of
number
one
here,
night,
impressions.
or was
Because
there
impressions
something
essentially tells us
deeper?
how many times the algorithm has promoted our
closed
video.
my
And in the case of
eyes
this
and
video,
took
you
a
can see
deep
here,
breath.
even though we've only got 29 views, the
Everything
algorithm's actually
felt
promoted
so
our video 400
complicated.
times. The problem is our video just actually isn't
shared that
enticing enough
night.
to viewers.
We
If you
got
come and
so
look at the
close.
retention of this video, we're going to overview and
now
come down
what
here.
would
By the time the
happen?
video reaches the 10-second mark, over
Were these
50% of
feelings
viewers have
real
left the
or
video. And
just
so
a
the issue here
fleeting
is like what Mr.
desire?
B said.
The algorithm didn't like
I
that video,
decided
the
to
audience
stay
didn't like that
away
video.
It's just that the data is showing us here that the video isn't resonating or clicking
I
very well
needed
with
to
viewers.
figure
And this is going to be some
myself
tough
out.
love here. It's going to make a bunch of you leave. But
I
a lot of
needed
you, if you
time
actually were
alone
honest
to
with yourselves and
understand
went
what I
into your
was
analytics and
feeling.
had a look at them, the majority of you would
During
have this
those
exact same
days,
problem here.
my
And that's totally
thoughts
okay. I'll
got
show you how to
all
fix that in this
tangled
video. It's
trying to
actually easier than you would think.
process
But really
everything
quickly,
that
I know there's going to be a bunch of you in the comments,
I
and rightly
stayed
so, being like,
away,
but Marcus, my
feeling
content
a
is good.
growing
I get
inner
great feedback on it
unrest
from
while
viewers. I get great
everything
feedback on it from my
outside
friends and
was
family.
calm
And I
and
think here's
quiet.
what I would say to you. It's not necessarily that your
change
video is
scared me.
objectively bad, because it's not about whether or not
Maybe
your video
I'd
is good or
been
bad.
expecting
It's
this
about
from
whether or
the
not your
start,
video
but
is
now I
better
really
than the
had him.
alternative options
And yet
viewers
not
have to
once
choose
did I
from. So for
know
example, if you
it
look at
was
this
the
video,
right
it's like
thing.
how to make a simple Minecraft lightsaber.
remember
Look at the
that
title and
night.
thumbnail of
It
this
was
video. Now, if we just
amazing.
go to YouTube and type in
It
how to
felt
make
like
a Minecraft
everything made
lightsaber,
sense.
look at some of the other options that show up. There's this
But
video
now,
here,
everything
there's this
felt like
video
a
here,
void.
there's this video here. And without even watching these, just from looking at the titles and thumbnails, these videos are so much more enticing, which explains why this video is being promoted to over 400 people, and yet not very many of them resonated with it, and so the video didn't get much love from the algorithm. So I want to show you one of my favorite ways to create great videos in any niche that get a ton of views, even if you don't have the same amount of time and money to invest into your content as maybe some of your competitors. In fact, I've used this process to single-handedly blow up videos in niches with other YouTubers that are literally full-time, have like 10+ man teams and hundreds of thousands of dollar budgets. And it takes you like one weekend to do, you just go work smarter, not harder. And so that leads us to step 2. What we need to do is come to YouTube and start typing in what I call umbrella terms that are related to your niche. So let's say, for example, you run a how to make money online channel. Umbrella terms for that niche would be like make money. And when you type that in, a bunch of videos are going to show up. But more importantly, we're going to look at the channels. So I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard and just open up all these different videos.
There was no ending to it.
And you would go through and do this to all of the videos that show up. I'm just going to do it to these ones for now. And then what I'm going to do to every single one of these channels is subscribe to all of these.
It was so real that
and then what I'm going to do is on these videos, I'm going to go down to the recommended videos here. There's going to be a bunch of other videos from other channels. And I'm also going to open up these and do the exact same thing.
Did he really love me? Or was it just a passing
So I'm going to subscribe to all of these. And basically what we're trying to do here is you're trying to build out a list of all of the players or competitors in your niche. So for me, on this channel, for example, I have a list of over 300 channels posting how to grow on YouTube related content. And this will probably take you a couple of hours to do, which will be super boring, but I promise you it'll be worth it. If you stick around, you'll see why.
A few moments later.
And now that I have these channels in my niche, what I'm going to do is an analysis of all of them to figure out what's making them successful. And there's a very specific way I do this. So what I'll do is I'll come to this website, velio.co, and you can do what I'm about to show you completely for free. It's just Velio saves a bunch of time, makes it easier. So for the sake of this video, I'll show you that. And once you're logged in, what you're going to do is come down to saved channels. And then come over to create list and create a channel list and just title it whatever the name of your niche is. So I might do like make money channels, it's save, and that's going to create a list that I can then click into. And then what I'm going to do is come to add channel. I'm going to add all the different channels I've found inside of the make money niche. So for example, I found this one. I'm just going to copy the link, just paste this in here, hit track channel.
But then I was scared.
And what you'll see is it's going to populate all the videos from this channel inside of this channel list. Now let's do this to this channel, for example. So I'm going to copy this link, add this channel, track it, and then we'll grab the videos from this channel and chuck them into the list as well. Do the same thing with this channel, chuck this in here.
And maybe
see now videos from this channel showing up in here as well. And basically you're going to go through every single channel that you found in your niche. I know it's going to be a pain, but you only have to do this once and just add them into your tracked channel list. Now I've already done this to save a bit of time earlier into this business / make money online channels. I think I've got about 150 different channels with all of their videos loaded inside here. And now we'll do an analysis of these channels to figure out what is getting them views, because once we have that information, we can use that to help get views for our own channel, regardless of how small it is. So what I like to do is come into filters here, this button here. I like to come down to multiplier and set this to 2.5. I like to come to duration here and bring that up to at least like 5 minutes or so. And then what I like to do is come to custom and set a date range to filter out any videos that got a lot of views but they were posted a really long time ago. Now, as for the date range that you should set, this really depends on how your niche works. So if you're in a niche that's evolving very quickly and there's constantly new trends and things that used to get views, say like a year ago, now get like no views, then you want to set a small date range, like maybe last 180 days or last 365 days, because we only want to run our analysis over videos that were posted recently so we can exclude all those videos that blew up because of old trends. But if you're in a more evergreen niche, so like the make money space, sure there's been blips like AI became a thing and then there was crypto and NFTs and whatever. But in general, people still just want to get rich and make money passively, right? So I'm going to go custom. I'm going to go back about 3 years. And then I'm going to click on this calendar and I'm going to go back to 2024, go back to like August. And today, and then hit apply. And now Velio is going to load up all of the videos from the channels tracked in this list that meet the criteria we just set. But we'll do one last thing. We're going to go to sorts over here, sort by views, and then sort by most views to least views. And this is going to order our videos in order of ones getting most views to the least views. And now we can see the most successful videos from all these channels in one place. But before I show you how to do our analysis, I want to do one more thing. And that is sometimes channels will post videos on different topics that aren't relevant to our niche. So for example, you can see Ali Abdal, he does post videos on making money online here, but he also posts videos on his skincare routine, right? We don't care about skincare videos. So what I'm going to do is note down skincare as a negative keyword. So I'm going to go into my filters and click on advanced filters. I'm going to come down to exclude keywords. I'm just going to put like skincare, right? And hit apply. And now we can see that skincare video from Ali Abdal got removed. Now I can see that there are a couple of other videos in here, like this desexualizing your brain one or understanding English one. So I'm just going to go through here really quickly and add some negative keywords that will get rid of these. Cool,
I can hear their whispered arguments from the other room.
And now I have a list of just videos that meet the make money online criteria that I want. And here's where we do the analysis. So what we're going to look for is topics. So the ideas intrinsically baked into these videos have all done really well. And we're going to make a list of highly successful topics within this niche. So let me give you some examples. What I can see see
secret,
here is
because the
9
secret
passive
isn't
income
just
ideas,
going to
how I make
change me.
27K per
It
month
might
from Ali
change
Abdal.
Edwin
This
too.
video almost has 14 million
I want
views, posted
Edwin.
3 years ago. It is the
Yeah,
most
I know it
successful
sounds
make money
wrong,
online video
but my
in the
heart is
world in the
telling
last
me
3
something
years, based on
different.
the list of creators I've found. So what
I
I might
want
take
him.
from this is passive income
I
is
can't
something
keep this
people are very
secret
interested
anymore.
in. And what I want to try and do now is
Listen and
verify
try
that
not
by
to
seeing
judge
other
me
videos
until
that
you
have been
understand,
successful talking
because
about
this is a
passive income.
story
So I
where
could
I'm
do that
putting
by
not
coming to
just my
search here
heart,
and just
but
typing
my
in
soul out
passive.
there. Getting Edwin, replacing someone else.
That client
even
review was
taking
brutal.
a place in the heart of a man who
We're gonna
looks
be
like my
underwater
stepbrother
for
sounds
weeks.
crazy, right?
I'm already so pruny.
But this is
This
my
is
truth,
fixable.
and now I'm
Just-
going to tell you that truth.
And look at all these videos that are
I'll
showing
never
up. We've got our
forget
original
that
one
night.
here. We've got this one, how to make
The
money selling
hours
books
had
with passive
passed,
income. This
and
one,
Edwin
7
was
passive income
already in
ideas.
his
This
room.
one, passive income. This one,
The
passive
house was
income,
quiet,
passive income.
but
And
the
what's more
chaos
importantly
inside
is we
me
can see
was
this
the
outlier
opposite of
score here
quiet.
on these videos, which shows us how much of an
Edwin's
outlier or
presence, the
breakout
distance
video this is.
between us,
And all of these
every
videos that we're
movement
seeing
of
that
his
have
had
passive
the
income in
same
them,
pull.
they all have positive or high
noticed
outlier
him
scores.
out on
So
the
what I'm going to
kitchen
do is I'm just going to
balcony
come to like a
smoking a
Google Doc
cigarette.
or something. I'm just going to write
At
down
first,
passive
I
income.
tried not to
Now let's
go
get
in,
rid of our
but
passive
then
income
I don't
search, get
even
rid of
know
this
what I was
concept,
doing.
and let's see if we can find a couple more breakout
was like
topics,
an
and then we'll do some
instinct,
pretty cool
a
stuff for
pull
them in a
that
sec, and I'll
got
show
me
you how you
moving.
can use them to get a bunch more
I
love
was
from the
wearing this
algorithm on
thin,
your channel. So if I
almost
scroll through this a
see-through
bit more,
nightgown.
and I might just bring this out like this so I
I
can just see
couldn't
more
really
videos on
think
the same
about
topic. I
what
can
I
see
was
another
wearing
sort
at
of
that
trend
hour,
that's
could
pretty
I?
interesting. So meet the billionaire that works
I
a normal
quietly
job.
walked
Asking
down the
millionaires how to make $1
stairs,
million.
but as I reached the
How much
kitchen
money
door,
Mr. Beast
I
makes.
unknowingly,
How I went from
or
500 to
maybe I
half a
knew
billion in
exactly
5 years.
what I was
Asking
doing.
80-year-old
Banged
millionaires
my
was
hand
worth it.
against
Long
the
story
cupboard.
short, another topic seems to be interviewing rich
I let
people
out
and teasing
a-
out their knowledge. So I'm going to
I
mark
let
that down
out
as
a
a topic.
soft cry,
And let's just get a couple
like I'd
more
hurt
here. See, another
myself.
thing that's kind of interesting, if I zoom in here on the
Edwin
titles a
turned
bit,
around
I can see another
immediately.
thing. Notice
His
this. Do this to make
expression was
$10,000
shocked
as
at
a
first,
student.
but then it softened
Here's another
when
one.
he
7
saw
principles
me.
for teenagers to make money.
Lena, what are you
How
doing up at
teenagers
this
can make
hour?
money. 19-year-old starts
His
trucking
voice
business.
was
So
filled
what I
with
can do
surprise.
is I'll write down that as
I just
a
came
topic
down
here.
to get some water.
Now I'm
I
going to go
said,
through and find a few
adding
more
a
topics.
small
If you're
smile.
following along with this tutorial, you should do the
I
exact
rubbed
same
my
thing.
hand
Try and find
lightly
all of the
as
key
my eyes
topics
met his.
specifically among the top
That was
videos
the moment
across your
I felt
entire niche.
something
A lot of
shift.
people look for topics that did kind
I
of well.
had
That's
his
not good enough.
attention.
We need to find topics across videos
What
that are
about
literally
you?
the most successful videos
Shouldn't
in
you
the
be
world
asleep?
in this particular niche, which is what
I
we've done
asked
here with
with a
Velio.
curious
If you're doing this
tone.
manually, you're just going to go through the list
I
of all the
wanted him
competitive
to
channels you
open
found,
up to
then
get
just go to
closer.
their videos tab and go to most popular,
was
and look at the
looking
most
for an
popular videos
excuse
that were
to be
posted
near
in the
him.
time frames you decide. Then take
Edwin
all their
took a
top
deep
videos
breath,
and log them in a
stubbed
spreadsheet
out
with their
his cigarette,
stats, then
and
sort and
tilted his
manually
head
apply the
slightly.
filters I talked about earlier
There's
and
just
look
a
for
lot on my
patterns.
mind,
Again, you
he
want to do this
said.
across all of the channels that have
His
posted
eyes
successful
were
videos in
looking
your
off
niche.
into
A lot of people get
the
lazy here and
distance,
just do this
but
to
I
10 or
could
20
feel
channels.
the
No, I
emotion
want to do
behind
this
his
to
gaze.
everyone because that's how you're going to find
it
the
about
actual
Julia?
goal. So I've done a little bit more analysis
I
here
asked,
and I
maybe
found a
overstepping
couple
my
of
bounds,
topics
but
that
I
have
had to
multiple
take
real
that
case
risk.
studies of working across our
Edwin
niche.
gave
And
a
this information is really
small
useful,
smile,
but
but
even
there
people who
was
get to this
sadness
stage
behind it.
tend to not get views
Yeah,
if they
he
don't do
said.
the next step I'm going to talk
It's
about. See,
over.
what you're going to want to do
I
is if you're on
can't
Velio,
take it
come to the
anymore.
research tab. If you're on YouTube, just go to
We're
like YouTube
always
search.
fighting.
Just going to get rid of
Remove
my
my dad's
filters here.
marriage.
And then I'm going to come to
Everything
filters
got in the
again
way
here.
with
I'm going to change
Julia.
my search precision to
Hearing
balanced.
that,
I'm going to go to
something
views
weird
and I'm going to
stirred
select
inside me.
600,000. I'm going to go
On one
to
hand,
video
I
duration
felt
and
his
set that
pain,
around 5
but
minutes
on
as
the
well.
other
And then I'm
hand,
going to go to
a spark
advanced
went off
filters
inside
and
me.
select the view
Maybe
sub
this
ratio.
was
So what
my
this is
chance.
this is a number that
You're
represents
right, I said
how many
slowly,
views the video
sitting
got
down
in
next to
relation
him.
to that channel subscriber count. So let's say we have
even
a
when
channel that
people
has
love each
10,000
other,
subscribers,
it
but they
becomes
post a video that
impossible
gets
to walk the
50,000
same
views.
path.
50,000 is 5
I
times
wanted to seem
10,000. So what I like to do
supportive,
is
but
I
at
like
the
to set
same
my
time,
views to sub
I was
ratio
trying
to
to make
5.
my
Then I'm going
presence
to
felt
hit
in what I was
apply. And
saying.
we're going to have a bunch of videos that pop up across
That
YouTube
night,
that
I
meet
sat
the criteria
quietly
we
next
just
to
set.
Edwin.
And what we're going to do here is look
I
for
wanted him to
formats of
feel that I
videos that
wasn't
are
there
doing
because
really
of
well.
Julia,
So for example,
but
like
because
10
it
years
felt
ago,
natural
top
for me
10
to be
videos
next to
were a
him.
format that worked really well.
And
It's
I
top
knew
10
he
movies,
noticed
top 10
it.
songs, top 10 this, top 10
I could
that.
tell
Also a
because
long
when
time
I
ago,
got up
tips
at
and tricks
dawn
videos
and
did really well. Often combined with top 10. So it'd be like top 10 tips and tricks to do XYZ, 30 tips and tricks to do blah, blah, blah. So tips and tricks were also a format. Now those two formats are being done to death right now, so they don't work that well. But what we're going to do now is try and find some new formats that are working at the moment, and then we're going to use those formats with the topics we found earlier to make some viral video ideas, which we'll get into more later in the video. So already there are a bunch of cool formats that have shown up in here. Here's one that jumps out to me. What's the hardest part of life in Germany? And the reason I say this is a format, because there's a variable here that could be switched out that would allow us to completely remake this video while keeping the same format. So in this case, the variable is life in Germany. And I say that's a variable because I could take this title and just swap out life in Germany for something completely different and the video would still make sense. So for example, one of the topics I found when I was going through our videos earlier was investing. So you could take a video like this and be like, what's the hardest part of investing? Or what's the hardest part of making money as a student? Anyway, this isn't really the best example of a format I'd look for, but it's good enough that I do want to save it just in case for later. So what I'll do is I'll hit this little box here, and then I'll click here into manage folders, and I'm going to select to create a folder, and then I'm just going to call this like /make money video formats, hit save changes, and we can see our business /make money formats folder pops up here. I'm going to select that, and I can add some tags to this video as well if I want to organize it further. The only thing I really care about in this video is the title and idea, so I'm just going to get rid of the thumbnail tag. And what I can do also up here is click add note and I can write down my inspiration for this video. So I can be like, so what's the hardest part of investing?
Edwin turned on the kitchen light, stayed
passive
inside
income,
for a bit, then
whatever,
came
right?
out to
I'm
the
going to hit
balcony.
save video. And what's going to happen
Lena,
now
he
is if
said,
I go to my
sounding
saved videos
surprised.
folder, and I come to my make
you
money
smoking?
/ business formats folder that we
I
just created,
looked
you can
at
see
him with
this
a
video
small
is
smile.
saved there for later. But anyway, we're going to go back to
Every
our
now
research
and
tab
then,
because I like to do an
acting
extra
cool.
thing to help us get even better
Sometimes it
formats
helps
quicker.
clear
And that
my
is, there are
head.
certain key terms that a lot of
Edwin
interesting
hesitated for a
formulas have in
moment,
common
but
or are
finally
related
sat
to.
next
I'll
to
put a
me
bunch of them on
and
screen
lit
right now
his
for you to
own
copy.
cigarette.
That you can enter into this search
What's on
bar
your
here
mind?
and find some
He
really cool
asked,
stuff and
his
save a bunch
gaze
of time.
scanning
And one of my
me.
favorite ones for
It
education
was like he
channels
didn't
is the
quite
How
get
I
why I
Learned
was
terms.
there.
And I'm just going to
Nothing
hit
as
search
big
on
as
that. And
your
now we can see
problems.
a
I
bunch
said
of
with a
interesting
light
videos
laugh,
show
but
up. And these ones are
sometimes
actually a lot
everyone
better
needs
than the
a
ones we
little
were just going through.
distraction.
A couple that immediately jump out to
My
me
eyes wandered
this
over
one.
his
So
face,
it's How I Learned
even
English by
through the
myself in a
smoke.
lazy way.
I
The variables
couldn't
are
help but
English
notice
and
the
polyglot. Because
familiar
what I could
look
do
of
is I could
his.
take this title and I could be like,
keep the
How I Learned
conversation
Investing by
going,
myself
I
in a
pointed
lazy
to
way
the
without
bottle of
studying.
wine.
And then I could change this to advice
sitting
from
out here
a
alone, we
multimillionaire.
should
If I was
celebrate
going
with a
for the
bottle of
investing
wine, I
topic.
said.
Or I could do something like How I created
Maybe we
a
can
multi-million-dollar
distract
business
each
by
other's
myself
thoughts.
in a lazy way
Edwin
without
didn't say
studying
anything
advice
at first,
from
but
a
after a brief
17-year-old.
pause,
If we were trying to
he
go
went
for the
inside to
how to make
grab the
money as
wine
a
bottle
student
and
/
two
teacher topic we
glasses.
identified. So this one's really cool. We're
When
going
he
to save
came
this.
back,
Now there are
he
so
had a
many
slight smile on
ideas
his
here. Like I
face.
could literally be doing this for hours. And you
Okay,
probably should be
he
doing this
said,
for hours to
talking
find
it
the
out with you
best
might
cream
not
of the
be
crop.
such a bad
But for me,
idea.
I'm just going to do a couple more so
As
we can
we
move on to
filled
the
our
next part of the
wine
video. This one here is very
I
cool.
started to
5
get
years
him
of coding,
talking.
everything I've learned.
He
Take
told
any
me about
variable
his
we've done together.
relationship
5
with
years of
Julia,
passive income,
about
everything
why
I've
it
learned.
ended,
5 years of
and that
investing,
was the
everything I've
opening I'd
learned.
been
5 years of
waiting
online
for.
business, everything I've learned.
You know, I said softly, I don't think Julia
Unleash
ever
your
deserved
creativity
you.
with Creative Fabrica,
Someone who
your
really
go-to
loved you
place for
wouldn't
all
have
of your
treated you like
print-on-demand
that.
needs. Not
Edwin went quiet for a second.
Save
his
that.
eyes
Again, just
fixed
taking
on
the
me.
variables and swapping them for what's
Why
going
are
to be
you saying
relevant
that?
to the
He
proven
asked,
topics we
his
found here.
voice
And here's one
soft,
last
but
cool
with
idea here.
curiosity
I'm at
in it.
94 billionaires. Here's
I
6 things I
raised my
learned. But
glass
again, if we
and
look at
gave
our
him a
topics
small
here, this video
smile.
actually hits on one of the topics we
Because the
identified,
love
which is
you
this one.
deserve
But we could
isn't
add another
that, I
angle to
said.
this with the student
Hours
/ teenager
passed,
topic
and
we
the wine
identified. So
was
we could
starting
do
to get
something
to
like,
us.
I met 94
I could
teenage
feel his walls
millionaires.
slowly
Here are the
coming
6 things I
down.
learned. Great
He
video
was
idea,
opening
should
up
definitely be
more,
saved. And
even
you can see there are a
laughing a
ton
little.
of really interesting formats I
And
could
right
find
then,
here that I can
I
just keep
decided to
scrolling
risk
through.
it all.
If you're in a niche where you find it a little
I
bit difficult
leaned
though to
in
find certain
toward
formats, what you can do
First, I
is
looked
when you
into
do
his
find
eyes,
a format
then
that's
gave
applicable
him
to
a
you,
slight
let's just say
smile.
like this one, I can click on these 3
I know
dots
I
and then go
shouldn't do
view
this,
similar
I
videos.
said,
And as you can
my
see, it's now
voice
going to show me a
trembling
bunch of
a
videos
little,
that are very
but before I
similar
could
to the
finish
types of
my
formats
sentence,
I'm looking
I
for. And
pressed
then you can
my
do
lips to
exactly what I
his.
just showed you and then just save them
For a
to your
moment, he
folder.
seemed
And then once you do
surprised,
that, the
but
last
then
step
he
is
kissed me
just
back.
go to your saved video folder. This
Our
is the
kiss
one that we were just
became
working on
long
here,
and
but you can see
intense,
there aren't
and in
many
that
videos in it. So I'm
moment,
just going to
it
go
felt
to
like the
one
whole
I
world
prepared
stopped.
earlier. So go to that save video folder
Lena,
and just come
he
down to
whispered
sort.
finally,
And you're going
but
to
his
sort by,
voice
you
was
guessed it, the ones that
uncertain.
have the most views. And then
There
also
was
you're going to
both
have a look at
desire
your
and
list of
hesitation
topics
in
and you're going
his
to start
eyes,
at the top
but
of
at
the
that
topic that
moment,
you found
there
was
was no
most
turning
common
back.
across successful videos when you're researching your
path I
niche. And you're just
started
going to
on to
mix
get
and match your
Edwin was
way
now
because they're the
leading in a
most likely to do
completely
well.
different
And just
direction.
create those videos for your channel.
After
And I
the
know that
kiss,
might sound overly
Edwin
simple, but let me
stayed
show you
quiet for a
an example
while.
to prove that this
His
actually
gaze was
works.
down,
So I was doing this
like he
exact
was
same
trying
process.
to
I was
figure
just
out a
showing you a
battle
while ago,
inside his
and I
mind.
identified that in my niche,
Our
Mr.
breaths
Beast
were
was
uneven,
a trending
but the
topic. Even if you
intensity
go
in his
to
eyes
my
only
save channel
drew
folder
me
here
in
for
further.
YouTube education, and let's just like Mr.
Finally,
Beast.
he
What you can see,
exhaled deeply
Mr.
and
Beast
looked
video,
straight into
500,000
my
subs,
eyes.
4 million views, 11x outlier.
Lena, he
Another
said,
Mr. Beast
his
video
voice
here,
both
Mr. Beast
deep
video,
and
Mr. Beast. Again,
shaky.
Mr. Beast
I
was a
need to
massive
confess
trending dude.
something.
But the thing was, just making a Mr. Beast
At
video
that
wasn't going to be good
moment,
enough.
my
So I
heart
found a
started
format from another
racing.
niche. And it was actually this video
Hearing
here,
what
Tom
Edwin
Holland
had
being a
to say
meme for 4
excited
minutes
me,
straight.
but
Really
it
great
also
format because
scared
look,
me.
10 million views from
I gave a
123,000
slight
subs.
nod,
And so I took those
encouraging him
topics
to
and
go
formats,
on.
swapped out the variables and
On the
fused
day
them
of the
together.
wedding,
And that is this
he
video right here.
started,
As you can see,
his
over
lips
5 million
curling
views and
into a faint
16,000 subscribers. It's generating me almost 2,000 views every 48 hours. And in case you're wondering, oh, but Marcus, your channel was big when you posted this video.
At first, I told myself it was just a fleeting thing, but then everything.
Start typing in what I call umbrella terms that are related to your niche. So let's say, for example, you run a how to make money online channel. Umbrella terms for that niche would be like make money. And when you type that in, a bunch of videos are going to show up. And more importantly, we're going to look at the channels. So I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard and just open up all of these different videos.
It was wrong, but
and you would go through and do this to all of the videos that show up. I'm just going to do it to these ones for now.
But at the same time, it was completely new and unknown. His words practically mesmerized me.
Have you noticed this wild?
I leaned in a little more, listening closely. My relationship with Julia wasn't
videos
going
and now
well,
has
but this
200K
feeling,
subscribers.
what I felt
Meanwhile,
for you,
another
just
channel
made my
managed to attract
conscience worse.
571K
It felt
subscribers.
like I was
And what's even
betraying
more
Julia.
interesting is that these channels
So even
are
after we
easily
moved,
making
I kept
10K per
trying to keep
month, but
things
that's
with her.
just the beginning. I have
I
a
tried to
comprehensive
push you
roadmap
away,
that if you
tried to
implement
run
it,
from
you
these
can
feelings.
increase your income to
At
20K,
that
30K
moment, I
per
could see
month. You might
Edwin's
think I'm
inner turmoil
exaggerating,
laid
but
bare,
no,
but at the
I've
same time,
personally tested
I
this
could feel
method
how
and
real
it
his
works.
interest in you
In this
was.
video, I'm going to share with you
But
my
Lena,
personal
he said,
secrets to
his voice
multiplying your
lowering,
channel's
no
views by
matter
several
how hard I
times in just
tried,
one
I
day.
couldn't get
So
you out of my
fasten your
head.
seatbelts and put aside
You're completely
all
different to
distractions
me.
for a while, because what
It's like I've always known you, but for some reason, I keep getting more and more attached to you. The moment he finished his words, he hesitated for a second, then suddenly leaned in toward me and pressed his lips to mine
Building
again.
AI agents that can speak
This
is now
time, the
easier
kiss
than
was
ever.
deeper, more passionate, and more determined.
Hi, what would you like to talk about
My
today?
hands instinctively went to his shoulders. His body
Only
moved
320
even closer
videos
to
and now
mine.
has 200K subscribers.
My heart was
Meanwhile,
racing,
another channel
my
managed to
breaths
attract
mixing together.
571.
Edwin's hand slid down to my waist, then with a gentle pressure on my back, he pulled me
Imagination.
closer
I have
as our
carefully
physical
examined
contact
these two
deepened.
channels and will share
In
my
that
findings
moment,
with you
the
step by
boundaries
step and
between us
live,
were
so that you can
disappearing
use
one by
these strategies to grow your channel and reach
The
an income
cool
of over
night
50K
air
per
from
month.
the
The 5-step
balcony
formula for
brushed
YouTube
against our
success. By the
skin,
end of this video, you will
but
know
we
exactly
were
how you can
warm
increase your
from
monthly
each
income to
other's
20K or even 30K. Be sure to like the video, so let's get started.
Edwin's
The magic tool that does
fingers
everything for
moved
you.
down
The tool we're
from
going to
my
use today is
waist.
called Magic Light.
His
After a lot
touch
of searching and
both
reviewing dozens of tools, I
hesitant
finally
and
came across this
full of
masterpiece.
desire.
The link is in the video description. Just sign up.
Lena,
Step-by-step guide to using
he
Magic Light to create
whispered,
AI
his
videos. Register and
voice
log into the
almost
tool.
like we were
First,
in a
click on the link in the
dream.
description and register using your email.
I
On this
don't
page, for
know if
instance,
this
you can
is
view videos
right,
made by
but I
others.
can't
Watching these videos
stop
will help
it.
you learn the best way to produce videos with
I
this tool.
felt
Create a
the
new video
same
clip on the
way.
Create AI video option. A new
I
page
knew
will open
this
with all the real
moment
magic
was
happens.
wrong,
Write or
but
enter
it
video
also
text in the prompt
felt so
section. You
real.
can enter the video text, or you can copy
I
your
held
ready-made script
him
here. For this
tighter,
tutorial, I
my
will the tool is
voice
simple text.
barely a
Initial video
whisper.
settings. Select aspect ratio. I choose
Edwin,
landscape.
for the
Select video
first
language. I
time,
set the language to
I
English.
feel
Select
like
video
I'm
style. There are several
exactly
options. You can choose your
where I'm
favorite style.
supposed to be.
Automatic video generation with AI clip.
That
AI
night,
generate. AI
all
will
our
analyze the text and divide it into several
barriers,
scenes. This feature will
all
save you a
our
lot of time and
fears
energy.
vanished in
Editing
the
and optimizing
balcony.
scenes. If you want to change a scene, you can
Our
easily edit the
kisses
text.
deepened,
Also, you can
our
delete
touches
unnecessary
grew
scenes.
bolder.
A strong script equals 50% of the video
We were
success.
just
So make
two
sure the video's
people
text is
now.
absolutely perfect. Selecting characters
The
cast.
past,
After
the
setting the text, you
world
will enter the
around
character
us,
selection
or
section.
any
The tool will
rules
automatically
didn't
select the
matter
appropriate characters, but you
anymore.
can. Select the auto-cast option to
That
have the
night
AI
on the
automatically select the
balcony,
characters. Click
Edwin
edit
and I
character and
became
create a new
one,
character from the existing
ignoring
characters. Fixed
everything
characters make the
else.
characters in your video remain the same across all
Everything
scenes,
was
which is
wiped
very
away,
important in AI content
no
production.
past,
Edit background
no
sound and
future
music. Edit audio
worries.
and background images. You can set your own sound
We
to the
only
images, and you
felt
can animate the
each
beginning of the
other's
video, adjust the audio
presence,
speed.
our
For example, I set
physical
the playback speed to
connection
1.0.
turning
Choose
into a
narrator voice. There are several
spiritual
options for the narrator voice available. Click the
Our
audition button to
bodies
preview each
melded
voice.
together,
Choose background music.
and the
You can
magic
choose the
of
music
the
that suits the
moment
video and adjust the volume.
completely
Remove audio noise.
intoxicated
If
us.
necessary, I can reduce the volume of the music so that the
It
narration can
was
be heard
like
more
we
clearly. If you scroll down the page, you can see all the
transcended
images generated for the scenes in the video. By
We
selecting each
felt
scene, you
like
can see
we
the
were in
narration text for that
another
scene.
world,
See the command
like
used to
it
generate
was
that
just
image.
us.
If you are not satisfied with the image, just click
We
regenerate
lived that
to generate a
night
new
as
image.
if
Final
we
video
never
production,
wanted
adding
it to
animation. After
end.
confirming everything, click generate video.
The
AI
next
automatically adds some
morning,
movement to the images to make your
waking
video
up
more
with the
dynamic and
first
engaging.
light of
You can
the
turn your
sun,
images into animated videos.
the
Select the scene
warmth
and
and
click the
slight
animate
ache
button.
in my
Choose from the
body
various animation
reminded me
options.
of
I will
everything
choose
we
Animate
had
Pro,
shared.
High-Low AI, and Runway 1x1.
But at
Allowing
the
AI to create
same
custom
time,
commands.
I
You
felt
can
a
write a specific command
strange
for the animation,
emptiness.
or let the AI automatically create the animation
I
based on the
started
scene.
to
I will choose
question
the AI
myself.
generated animation option and click OK.
Why did
The
this
AI will start animating your
happen?
images. Do this for all the
I
scenes so
thought
that
I
eventually
had
all your
one
images will be
Edwin,
converted into real
but
video preview and
everything
final
changed
edit.
in an
You can preview each
instant.
scene and check its audio. If necessary, you can
Was
change the
this
narrator's
right?
voice. Once everything is confirmed, click
Was
create,
this bond
adjust aspect
between
ratio
us
option.
just
If you
the
want, you can
effect
change the
of one
dimensions of the final
night,
video. Add
or was
subtitles
there
option. You
something
can choose whether to
deeper?
add subtitles or not. Click OK, and the
I
AI will
closed
start combining
my
all the
eyes
elements
and
and
took a
creating your
deep
final video.
breath.
A professional, animated, and incredibly attractive video.
Everything
Everything is
felt
completely
so
automatic. No
complicated.
complex skills required. Now the video is ready to download
We
and
shared
publish.
that
Why choose
night,
Magic Light?
we
Create a
got
30-minute
so
video with minimal.
close. But now what would happen? Were these feelings real or just a fleeting desire? I decided to stay away from Edwin for a while. I needed to figure myself out. I needed time alone to understand what I was feeling. During those days, my thoughts got all
This case
tangled
occurred in
trying to
Sweden,
process
but word
everything
of
that
it quickly
happened. I
नंबर
stayed
1
away,
जानी
feeling a
दुश्मन
growing inner
एक
unrest
अनोखी
while
कहानी
everything
हिंदी सिनेमा
outside
की
was calm
सबसे
and
खराब
quiet.
फिल्मों में से एक मानी
The
जाती
change scared
है
me.
ये फिल्म अपने कमजोर
Maybe
प्लॉट
I'd been
खराब
expecting this
अभिनय
from the start,
और खराब
but now
विशेष
I really
प्रभावों
had him.
VFX
And
के
yet
कारण
not once did I know
आलोचनाओं
it
का
was the
शिकार
right
हुई
thing.
फिल्म की कहानी
I
कई
remember that
पॉपुलर
night.
बॉलीवुड
It
एक्टर्स
was
जैसे
amazing.
सनी देओल
It felt
अक्षय
like
कुमार
everything made
सुनील
sense.
शेट्टी अरमान कोहली
now,
मनीषा
everything
कोइराला
felt like a
सोनू
void.
निगम और
When I
अरशद
came
वारसी को
back, I
एक साथ
realized
लेकर बनाई
Edwin
गई
wasn't
थी
anywhere.
हालांकि फिल्म का
I can't
निर्देशन और
describe what I
कहानी
felt in
दर्शकों
that
को
moment.
बिल्कुल भी
Maybe
प्रभावित
fear,
नहीं कर
maybe
पाई
loss,
इस
but
फिल्म
one
ने
thing was
अपने
clear.
समय में कल्ट
Edwin
क्लासिक
wasn't
के
here,
बजाय
and
कल्ट
all that was
डिजास्टर
left
का
was a
टैग
piece
हासिल
of
कर
paper.
लिया यह फिल्म
As I slowly
भारतीय दर्शकों
unfolded
के
the
लिए
paper in
एक
my hand,
हास्यास्पद
my
अनुभव
heart
बन
nearly
गई
jumped
और
out of
इसका
my
नाम
chest.
अक्सर खराब फिल्मों के
For a
उदाहरण
while,
के रूप
I just
में
stared
लिया
at the
जाता है।
words.
नंबर 2,
Then I
जानी
read,
दुश्मन
Lena,
एक
what I
अनोखी
feel for
कहानी
you is
में
real, but
कास्टिंग
what I
की
feel
एक
for
और
Julia is
हास्यास्पद
stronger.
बात यह थी
So when I wanted you for a moment, I found you, but now it's over. I still need to go back to her. I spent this night with you because I lost myself in that moment, but I know I can't carry the hopes I gave you.
सिर्फ 2 हफ्ते
Everything
पहले
was a
ये
mistake.
वीडियो अपलोड हुई है
I
और
had to
इसने
leave
गेन
to
किए
avoid
हैं
hurting you.
20 मिलियन
There
व्यूज।
was no
चैनल की
ending
अगर
to
हम
it,
बात
just
करें
these
तो
cold
चैनल
words.
इसी मंथ ये
My
जो पिछला
vision
मंथ
went
गुजरा
dark.
है जनवरी का
Everything was
उसमें
so
ये
clear.
चैनल बना
It
है
was so
और
real
यहाँ
that
पे
I was
अगर हम
struggling
इसकी
to accept
पॉपुलर
it.
वीडियोस में आए तो
I
20
couldn't find
मिलियन व्यूज
anything
हैं।
to blame myself for, but I couldn't blame Edwin either. Did he really love me, or was it just a passing fancy? On one hand, I blamed myself, on the other, I thought about how seriously Edwin took me. But still, I really loved him. I realized that I might have loved him, maybe for the first time like this, and that was enough to make me understand how complicated everything was. Accepting this, hoping he could still be a part of my life, how contradictory was that? But one thing was certain, Edwin was a part of everything. We were so tangled up that I didn't know where any of this was going. But one thing was clear, he would always leave a mark. On one hand, I'm defending myself, on the other, this emptiness inside me is growing. What was I supposed to do? Should I write to Edwin again? Should I tell him how I felt? But then, I was scared that by telling him, I'd lose him. This mess, this emotional storm, I don't know how long it'll last, how much it'll burn inside me. But there's one thing for sure. I lived through this, and maybe everything had to mean something. So what's going to happen to me, my listeners? Will Edwin come back? Or is this really over? Do I still have hope, or am I just seeing myself as a dream? Should I blame myself, or should Edwin carry the blame? If you've made it this far, I know you're hooked on the story. There's so much more to share, and you don't want to miss anything. Don't forget to hit that follow button, turn on notifications, and leave a comment about this story. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts, so let's chat in the comments. Your support truly means the world to me. I've kept a lot of secrets in my life, but I've never had the courage to share any of them. Now, for the first time, I'm doing it, and trust me, it's not easy. This secret has been eating me up inside, keeping me awake at night, echoing in my mind at all hours, and it's about Edwin. Yeah, Edwin, my stepbrother, the guy who came into my life after my dad's second marriage. With
Over
every
40?
move he makes,
Here's why learning
he
AI
leaves
could
me
be
in
your
awe.
best career.
He's that mature, smart, and damn charming guy. I remember the first time I saw him. It was on the wedding day. The way he stood next to my dad, his calm yet confident vibe, it felt like everything was under his control. I couldn't take my eyes off him. Meanwhile, my mom, Maria, was stepping into her new life, but I couldn't stop thinking about Edwin. If you want to be one of the first to know these secrets, make sure you subscribe